Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, then then smash the super chat, as Colin Turner's just done, distracted me completely. Thank you very much indeed to Colin Turner. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Chris, Mind Warped, Paul, Ranty Flat Earth, Sleeping Warrior, and The Plain Truth. Very good to have you all.
Yo, yo.
How do?
Hello, what ho?
Good to be here.
What's up?
This will be a part B because I pressed the wrong button and ended the recording that was the pre-show, so that I'll go out separately. Oh well, never mind. You do a bit of housekeeping.
Yeah.
Any signs of Earth curvature?
No.
Negative.
Signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety again?
No.
You didn't save the Earth base yesterday, though.
You were near.
You were in yesterday, though.
I was, but when I said something, everyone else did too. So I missed my opportunity.
Oh, you were going to make
Not
a joke.
your opportunity. He's negating your opportunity by saying of the Earth type variety. Do you not realise that, Ranty? Come on.
Yes, I know, but yesterday you didn't.
It's even there on the forum. It's of the earthly variety on the forum, just so you don't get any smartasses coming in and go, "Oh, my wife, blah blah blah."
Yeah. Oh, the wheels on my car.
Yeah, I was thinking of Earth curvature, but yeah, it's axial rotation's the question. Yeah, it'll talk about something smartass, like you say, wheels on the bus go round and round or whatever.
Yeah. Anything with a rotation, that comes. Anyway, come on, let's move on.
Any signs of scientific evidence for gravity?
Scientific evidence of what?
Gravity.
They
Scientific
can't even
evidence
define.
thereof.
They can't even define gravity. So how are we going to prove it?
I had this
What the
conversation
flaming hell are
yesterday.
you talking about? Gravity.
You were getting shouted out in regards to your argument with Fight the Flat Earth, because he's basically saying the Cavendish gravity is the same as the Einsteinian gravity, and it's something right hand something or other. I've forgotten the guy's name already. It was on yesterday. It's like, yeah, the maths aren't derivative. He credited me with it. It's not my argument, it's John's, but there we go. So Quantum Eraser explained that it's completely different mathematics. Now, if you say length, breadth, depth, and time, most people are familiar with it in that terminology, but pseudo-Riemannian 4 space as opposed to Euclidean 3 space, the two are not. You can't put one into the other; they're completely different. So, to say that one is derived from the other is a nonsense mathematically and in fact. But nevertheless,
Yeah.
So no scientific evidence of gravity. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
We can't even prove what the sun is. We can't prove that the sun is something that we can actually measure the distance to, because it doesn't appear to be physical or and we know it's definitely not tangible. So it could be metaphysical, and we can't prove whether it's physical or not to even be able to triangulate.
What about any evidence of a gas pressure existing without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon? For all those fundamentalists who believe in the vacuum of the sky, otherwise known as outer space. So I've made that extra specially long, haven't I, Anthony? Sorry.
We
That's
have a
a
claim.
negative.
No.
We have a claim?
There is a claim for gas pressure without a container.
Okay.
From who?
Here we go. Are you ready? This is gonna be brilliant. This is if you present my screen, Nath.
You're on?
This is a video from some idiot who's got one of those like condescending, patronizing voices. I can't remember. I'll give credit in a minute. I can't remember the video. I will credit in a minute. You can't have gas pressure without a container. Well, at least according to Nathan Oakley, Quantum Eraser, some other dude, and pretty much every other flat earther out there. But you know what? They're wrong. And then what he does is he does this thing where he then introduces a donkey to try and make it sound like we're silly. Flat earthers can't afford to have gravity to be a real thing. Well, that's not true. Gravity may or may not exist on a flat plane, but it absolutely essentially needs to exist if you live on a ball that's in the vacuum of space, because you guys have got to have a mechanism to keep the pressured atmosphere on the Earth. You've got to have a counter to the pressure, right? Whether it's, let's just be really clear, on the flat Earth model, whatever that model may or may not be, we do not need gravity because we're enclosed, right? There's a membrane separating us from this so-called vacuum of space. So when he writes the flat earthers can't afford to have gravity to be a real thing, no, it's the other way around. We don't need gravity. It may or may not exist, but the ballers absolutely definitely do need gravity, because otherwise that atmospheric pressure bursts off into space instantaneously. We know that. That's what we can prove.
Sorry, just to add something. Gravity doesn't negate that. So the second law of thermodynamics isn't negated by this claim of gravity in any way, shape or form. So even though they might like to say, oh, we've got gravity that answers it, but even notwithstanding the fact they have no demonstration of gravity maintaining gas pressure without a container, and no demonstration of gravity, even if they did, based on what they assert about gravity, it would not violate the second law of thermodynamics. The gas would still fill the space, regardless of their fundamentalist belief in gravity. It doesn't negate it, mathematically or otherwise. It's not a force sufficient to overcome the second law of thermodynamics. So while they might claim gravity is the answer, it still is not, just to put that in there. Sorry to interrupt, Anthony.
Yeah, I'd like to see a simulation of it, because they can technically build simulators to simulate gravity and everything. So why don't they actually show a physical simulation of this gravity supposedly holding the gas pressure to the Earth in the open outer space?
Well, I will answer that, and then let Anthony go. Carry on. Sorry. So the reason is because they'll be modelling, or what did you use? Simulating a second law of thermodynamics violation. That's what they've essentially got to do if they model.
No, but that's technically impossible, because you can't.
That's my point. That's my point. Anyway, we can move on now. Thanks, Arwin. That was swift. Go on now, Anthony.
Yeah, so just give us a minute. Let's get through this. I want to try and make the point here, and then we can respond afterwards. I agree that the gravity point isn't that even if they had gravity, they've got to have gravity to make this force exist, right? So that in their heads, they've got something pulling the atmosphere back onto the Earth. Regardless of how strong it is, I agree, Nathan, it's completely bullshit. But even they've got to have that force, right? We do not need to have any force of gravity. It may or may not exist. It's not a contentious issue in our model, whatever that may be. We just accept that there is a density gradient in the atmosphere, and there has to be a gradient to the. There has to be something to press upon to create the pressure that we breathe. Okay. Now, look at what he does. This guy is He's claiming. Oh, hang on. Let me carry on. He says they can't have gravity to be responsible for retaining our atmosphere and causing the atmospheric pressure gradient. That would mean that the atmosphere simply diminishes to the vacuum of space. Space is real, their dome isn't, and their argument is done. No, it's the opposite way around. It doesn't matter on our model whether or not gravity exists. On your model, the pressure gradients, yeah, you could explain it, but it requires demonstration for it to be science. And that, like Arwin points out, is the point, right? Unfortunately for them, it's pretty easy. Here we go. Unfortunately for them, it's pretty easy to disprove that nonsense, and we have. The first part of this demonstration was done a few weeks ago in the shop. I've now gone outside where I can demonstrate much higher pressure with a taller pipe. Hang on a minute. Isn't he meant to be demonstrating gas pressure without a pipe? But this is going to be interesting. So what is he going to present that he satisfies the requirement, which we claim is gas pressure without a container? So now he's got a little measuring meter with a pipe that connects to a valve, and then there's a column.
Hang on, wait a minute. Is that pipe a container?
Yes, it is, Ranty.
Is a container.
Let's keep the obvious objection till the very end.
This is completely stupid. It's rubbish.
Let's let Anthony make that point. Quite right. Yes.
So he's demonstrating gas pressure without a container, but he's using a container to demonstrate gas pressure without a container, right? It literally pisses in the face of what he claims he's doing. So for the mentally challenged, let's use the Nathan Oakley scientific method for the experiment. Observation: my ears pop when I drive up a mountain, and I can measure a change in atmospheric pressure. So at least he's got the he's at least he's having a go at the DV, right? He's spotted the dependent variable, which is the phenomena, which, okay, your ears appear to pop. Hypothesis: gravity is responsible for the atmospheric pressure and causes the pressure gradient. What does that make
fuck?
gravity in this
Hold on.
hypothesis, guys?
Sorry.
It's a presupposition.
The DV, right? This is so frustrating. Who is this idiot? So the observation is DV is ears pop. And if you're performing the scientific method, you're trying to establish the cause of a natural phenomena you observe. Now, arguably, ears popping, yeah, you could call that an observed phenomena if you like. Yeah. But then you're going to try and establish the cause of that phenomena, as opposed to ignore it completely and make a presupposition.
Well, what he's saying is that gravity causes his ears to pop by pulling the pressure.
Isn't that the
of
thing he's trying to
yeah.
prove? So he's just declaring it as a presupposition in his hypothesis. This guy's a retard. He hasn't got the vaguest clue what scientific method is. This is a clear demonstration. I'll contain my rage. You carry on.
Yeah. Let's go with it. Because what he's saying is that gravity is the cause for his ear popping, right? His independent variable then must be gravity, because that's what he's saying is the cause for ear pop. His cause is gravity. His ear pop is the dependent variable, right? But he's put that his independent variables is the density of gas in an open pipe. So basically, his hypothesis should then read: density of gas in an open pipe causes, and height of column in gas in the pipe. So it's density of gas and height of column in gas pipe causes ears to pop. That's what it should read, but that's not what he's put. So he's trying to apply your method, but then completely making a hash of it, and then claiming that we're mentally challenged because of his own inadequacies in applying scientific method. Now, it's not difficult. The observed phenomena is ears pop. The claim is gravity causes it. So his independent variable has got to be gravity. So what does he... And obviously you have to manipulate it to prove that it is the cause of the effect. But what he's doing is something else completely. So he's not even satisfying or executing a method that he claims is scientific, even though he's dressing it up in such a way to make it look like. It's really simple. Ears pop is your DV, gravity is your IV. So you're going to have to manipulate your independent variable, gravity, to prove ear pop, right? And he doesn't do that. So let's see him actually do what he does.
Hold on.
Because it's really good.
Hold on. So he's got independent variables. So clearly... no clue how the scientific method works. You are trying to establish the cause of the phenomena you observe. And he's got variables, independent variables. So he's establishing the causes of the effect. So at best, if this complete codswallop was to be establishing anything, it would be a correlation, not causation. But it's not even comprehensible in terms of how he's laid it out.
Correct.
Secondly,
I didn't want to
not
that.
Sorry,
you are right.
One more thing. This is not my method. This is the scientific method. If he's claiming science, what the scientific method being what we are applying to his nonsense. What's on screen is gibberish. It's not anything to do with science. We are detailing the scientific method and how this should have it applied to it. Independent variable would be your presumed cause, singular, of the effect. He's got two, immediately demonstrating he's an idiot, whoever he may be.
Correct.
I want to know what a codswallop is.
Codswallop.
Doesn't matter. So he's got these predictions for what he thinks is going to happen, right? And now he's actually performing his so-called experiment. But again, the problem that we've got is he uses a pipe. Let me get to a part where he does it. So for God's sake, where is it now? When I want it, there we go. So he's using this vertical pipe. You can see that he's got the valve at the bottom of the pipe there. This is the container. He is literally using a container to demonstrate so-called gas pressure without a container, but he's doing it in a container. So obviously this is not the claim that he's claiming it is. But what's really, really interesting...
That's an art.
Is he adding pressure to the pipe anyway to create his own pressure in there? So it doesn't even make any sense.
The other thing, I've got a quick question. What's that thing on the right of the gauge?
The butane gas.
No, that's not butane gas, is it?
I think so.
No, that looks more like a container.
Yeah, literally butane. It's on there.
Sorry, that's not a gas. That's not expanding rapidly in all directions now, is it? That looks like a container, does it not?
Yeah.
So why is that there exactly?
I'm
I'm a bit confused. Aren't we demonstrating gas pressure without a container, and yet he's got the necessary antecedent on screen for us to see? The container for the gas.
He's got the necessary antecedent there, and he's also got the necessary antecedent here.
Come on,
Yeah.
guys. You just
Shout
have to
out to Zachary
presuppose.
This
that
is
the
a
Earth
great
is not in a
demonstration of
container.
gas
Just
pressure
presuppose it.
requiring the necessary antecedent of a container, and lots of examples of gas being contained. That's excellent. Hey, good times for all. It's funny you should pop up at this moment. Very appropriate.
Yeah, how we doing, everybody?
We're doing very well.
Morning.
This
What
guy
a
seems to back you, Zach, and just seem to repeatedly be demonstrating containers with gas in them.
So
Yeah, it's quite simple.
But it's in the
Okay,
open
go
atmosphere,
hold
and
on.
the Earth is not in a container.
Anthony,
So
just let me say hello to our new guest. He's the only one who's done anything practical in this regard. Come on, please. So Zach, he seems to be like you, showing lots of containers.
Yeah, you have to have a container to have gas pressure, and you can absolutely get a pressure gradient within a container. It was quite simple, really.
How would you know
Using
that?
This
Thermodynamics.
pisses me off because
Guys, please,
we get-
please, guys. How would you know that, Zach?
is it because of gravity?
Ah, Jesus, that's your name, isn't it, Zach? How
He's on
would
mute.
how would you know that, Zachary Zabala, otherwise known as Good Times for All?
Well, because I've shown this to be the case. With a little bit of temperature difference from one side of a container to another, you can create a pressure gradient inside of a container.
Of course you can. A swimming pool, as you go down in a swimming pool, that's containment of water. I know it's not a gas, but it's still treated as a fluid gas.
No.
That is the increase in
Oh my
pressure.
God.
That is a pressure gradient within a container.
No, we're talking about
That's
gas,
density.
not liquid, Anthony, for the love of God. No. Fluids is an arbitrary assignment so that you can define two different things as the same thing. So, no, within that construct, you can arbitrarily label gases and liquids as the same. Fluids, they're not. One has bonds, one does not. In this instance, we're talking about gas pressure. No offence, but your pool example is flying in the face of this. Sorry.
All right, but anyway, let me finish? Let me
Yes,
finish.
go
'cause
ahead,
I'm nearly
Anthony.
done.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so his conclusion is that gas pressure easily exists without a container, right? We didn't see that. We saw gas pressure within a container. It produces a pressure gradient exactly as we see in the atmosphere. Actually, it doesn't, because we don't see a pressure gradient within the confines of a containment, right? So this is wrong as well. The pressure and pressure gradients are produced by gravity. Well, that's nonsense anyway. My point is this. When this gent, who looks like he's about to set fire to himself because looks like he couldn't tie his shoelaces, but anyway,
I don't think the gorilla agrees, by the way. He looks too happy about it.
I do agree that he is creating a pressurized gradient within a container. He says it's not within a container, but I do agree this is the creation. But this is actually what he's really demonstrating is how we, our side, flat earthers, can have gas pressure gradient within a contained environment. He's literally making our argument for us, but he's claiming that it's his argument, and everybody can see that there is butane gas contained, and it's contained in a tube. So let me before I'm nearly done. So in my comments, I asked him, just give me 1 second, I'm nearly done. In my comment, I said, now do the test again without the container. I honestly thought you were going to do this gas pressure without a container, but when I watch this, you are using a container. You are trying to deceive people by telling them that there isn't a container, but hoping that they don't notice that you are creating gas pressure from the walls of that container as per the definition. The test you need to do is get a vacuum chamber, evacuate the chamber, and burst a helium balloon inside, but demonstrate a pressure in a concentrated spot somewhere in the middle. You cannot have gas pressure without the container, as you demonstrate in this video. Now, Blue Marble Science, that's the guy. This is what his response is. As usual, Anthony, you don't know what you're talking about or even what your claim is. No, we know exactly what the claim is, you moron. You're not doing what we're saying. You're doing what you think we're saying on what you're misrepresenting that we're saying. but we absolutely know what the claim is, and you've
Can I just make
demonstrated
it?
it beautifully.
You can't have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container. That is the claim. To assert
Yeah.
otherwise would be a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. That is the claim.
Yes.
That is our supporting evidence. A law of nature.
It's almost like trying to physically prove the square root of -1.
So
It's-
what he says is, you guys specifically claim a pressurized gas will follow the second law of thermodynamics and rush out into the lower pressure area if it isn't in a sealed container. That was your specific claim. But apparently you guys were wrong. Which way are you going to try and move the goalposts now? Globeposts now? Are you going to foolishly try to claim that the gas somehow knows to press in only 2 of 3 possible directions without the assistance of gravity? Are you actually silly enough to try and convince anyone that the upper surface of the gas can act like the top of a pressurized container? You need to do something other than run your mouth. You need to show us a pressure gradient in a sealed pressurized container, just like our atmosphere. Anybody want to comment on that?
Yeah, our atmosphere is pressing on the walls of a container. And it has been demonstrated by Zachary Sabala, otherwise known as Good Times for All.
Yeah. And you need to follow scientific method. You are so adept at misrepresenting when you do it. Well, we've just demonstrated that your hypothesis claimed something that you didn't test for. You claimed it was gravity causing it, and then you tested something else completely. But
No,
we're the ones that are
no.
misrepresenting it.
His claim was that he had an observed phenomena of ears popping. That was his claim. His phenomena was ears pop. At the end, he asserted his fundamentalist belief in gravity. He did some steps in between that meant nothing, and they certainly weren't scientific. He certainly didn't establish the cause of anything. He had more than one variable. It was so riddled as to be beyond comprehension. Incoherent nonsense. This is all this is. Demonstrating our point with his practical demonstration. Excellent. Well done.
Absolutely demonstrating our point. So the observation is, we have gas pressure. Hypothesis, containment is necessary. Independent variable is, what's the independent variable going to be? Gas pressure without a container, right? Your independent variable is going to be putting in gas pressure without a container. You're going to have to insert gas pressure in a vacuum. That will be the thing that you're going to control and manipulate. You're going to try and do that. But that's not what this guy's doing. Observation is dependent variables is pop, his cause is gravity, and then he introduces 2 independent variables, neither of which were gravity, and then claims a victory. What an absolute moron.
I
So what I want to do is just
one more thing. I don't see how science is applicable.
Can I ask a question?
So pressure difference
I got
equals
it.
container.
just
I got
my
it
final
late.
line.
Go on,
Go
let
over to this
Anthony
guy's
round
channel.
out, and then we'll all chime in.
Yeah. So my final line is, for the flat earthers out there, basically there's now a claim that we have gas pressure without a container. We've demonstrated that this whole concept was done, or this whole thing was done within a container. Go over to Blue Marble Science's video and pollute his his channel, his comments, telling him he's a moron because he's demonstrated a pressure gradient within a containment, which is our point. He's demonstrated our point. This is done within a container. Right, I'm done.
Hooray! We finally found the answer to the square root of -1. This is
Okay,
incredible,
Chocolate,
guys. It's
go
been
ahead.
established.
Go ahead, Chocolate.
So I got in a little bit late. I didn't see this. Could you, Riley? Could you go back to that diagram that he showed?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to understand what he was trying to do here. Like, because I read real quick. It said the pipe was filled with butane, something like that.
Yeah. I'm just getting to it. Bear with me.
Just while he's doing it, Chocolate, raise your objection. Don't stand on ceremony.
This just goes to show, like, you know, how us as flat earthers get called dumb and stupid and this, that, and the other. When this guy's clearly a glober, doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and he's got the nerve to go and call us all this stuff when he's gone and done this, which makes complete and utter no sense at all. Pisses me off.
So, what's your objection with butane, Chocolate?
No, I'm trying to understand how he was trying to demonstrate it. I got in late. I didn't really see the
All right. So
demonstration.
what he's done is he's filled the sleeve, the tube up with the butane, and then he's done it to the point where it gets somewhere in the tube here. And then what he's done is he's put the end of the tube into the manometer to measure what pressure's pushing against it. And he does demonstrate that there is a pressure. But obviously, our point is that when he does this, he's demonstrating it within a container, which is our point. So he's showing it, and that's the moment where he connects it. He's filling it up with butane, and then he takes it out and then quickly connects it to this little measuring device, which is all really well and good, but he's literally making our point for us. We can have a gas pressure within a contained environment, right?
So
a gradient.
is that a
the
closed
problem.
pipe?
I don't see the problem. He's just proving gas pressure without a container in a container. I don't see the problem.
That's proven.
That's what I was trying to say. Is that a closed pipe or something? Like,
no, I think he's got an
pipe.
open at the top.
It's open at the top.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure the pipe's open, isn't it? Otherwise it would be a complete dumbass, right? Yeah, it's an open pipe, I think.
I'm not sure because obviously the butane presumably is heavier than it's in.
I would hope so. Presumably that's why he's using a gas that we don't have in our natural environment. I mean, we do have. What I mean is we're not breathing butane.
No, I get that. I was just trying to see if this gas is being contained inside this pipe, or if it's just sitting inside the pipe and he's manipulating the pressure. Like, I'm just trying to understand. Maybe I just need to watch it.
The bottom line is it's contained.
It might work with custard pressure, though.
Sorry, I've just got to do this for the audience. Sorry, don't move your mouse a second, Anthony. Right, what we've got here is that same gas in its container. It's not just there. It's not, grabbing handfuls of butane. It needs the container. Simple.
No, I completely get it. I'm just saying, I see butane in a pipe, and the pipe will be a container. So I don't know what we're doing here.
Before that, though, you've got the butane contained in a container inside the can.
Right. What we need
this is a joke, or this was put out as real evidence.
So
he's putting it out.
What we're asking for is the butane that's inside this is at pressure, right? Well, what we want to see is the gas itself without the container. So, whatever he asserts is going on here, I see a pipe. I don't see gas without a container. I just see a pipe. Well, Anthony, can you leave it on screen? So, what we want to see, I can't believe I'm having to say this slowly, because it seems bloody obvious to me when we say gas pressure without a container, but I'll say it a bit slower. Here is a container. We don't see butane. Yeah? We see the necessary antecedent we assert for this gas pressure to be at pressure. Now, what we want to see is just the gas. Oh, fuck it, Anthony. Can you leave it on screen? Second time.
I mean, this
just
is
let
why
me make
I
my point.
Up, because when I looked at the screen, what I saw was butane in a pipe. But then
No. We don't. You're hijacking my point, Chocolate. No, we don't see. Where do you see butane? Point at the butane for me.
No. In the diagram that he had, it said
the diagram.
It pointed to the pipe, and
just
it
let me make my point, please. Somebody,
Right.
if you disagree with me, we do not see butane. If somebody disagrees, show me the butane, because I don't see anything. I see lots of things that could be called containers.
Just to clarify, I don't see the
can be made
butane.
visible by mixing in smoke particles.
I don't care. Let me make my point. Here is a container filled with butane. Now, what we want to see is just the butane gas. So let's do it against this brick wall. We want to see the butane devoid of a container. So just the butane, not expanding in all directions rapidly, as per the second law of thermodynamics, but the gas without the container. Because I don't see butane, I see a metal can, the necessary antecedent for gas pressure. So there isn't butane, there's a can. Yeah, here's not butane, that's a pipe. Right, so no, we want to see, against the backdrop of this brick wall, this size or shape, it doesn't matter, whatever this amount of butane is, I want to see that amount of butane, whatever the milliliter value is, in the air. I don't even have to have it in a vacuum, but without anything containing it. So just butane where I'm circling my mouse. You know, hovering in midair without a container. Isn't that bloody obvious? I've said it about 50 million times. So not containers with butane in them, not pipes with butane in them, but the gas without a container.
The other way to describe it is the container of butane gas that's on the table's probably got maybe, 15, 20, 30 psi in it because it's under pressure. Remove the container, but keep the butane gas that's in the container in a contained environment without the container, because that's what you're telling us that we live in. We're breathing gas pressure, but Earth itself exists in the vacuum of space. That's like the butane can existing without the container, guys. This guy's a moron.
Yeah. So it's like saying the tire pressure without the tire. So we want the cushy tire pressure, the extra pressure above atmospheric pressure, that you get the cushy nature of the cushioning effect of the gas pressure that's inside the tire. Same as the butane is inside the can or inside the pipe. Well, we want to see the gas pressure for that tire doing its job, being cushy at higher pressure than atmospheric pressure, but without the tire. So not inside a tire, but existing without the tire to press upon.
Now, let me just say, I just want to credit the guy for having a go, because it's not fair that we ridicule him intently, because he has actually tried to do something. So in acknowledgement of him doing something, for the Flat Earthers, please go over to his channel. It's only a couple of days old. Find the video. It's called Gas Pressure Without a Container, Blue Marble Science, and go and tell him, thanks for your experiment or your observation or whatever you want to call it, but you've just demonstrated our case for us. You are a moron.
Or
everybody on this thread,
this will be my last point, and then I will open it to the panel, I promise. Or in capitalized letters, in quotes, 3 words, without the container. In capitals, bold, put stars around each side of it. Without the container. Sorry, I'll shut up now. You go ahead. Panel's open to anybody. I'll shut up.
Just read the comments and see how much. Just read the comments and see how much everyone's holding his willy. That's what we need to stop, because this is just nonsense. It's literally ignorance to the reality. He hasn't done what he says he's done. He's done our point for us. So make sure you go over and just troll him a little bit, because he deserves it.
Well, come on, he did science.
The name of the video is literally gas pressure without a container, and he literally in the video puts the gas in a container.
Yeah,
right.
Right. Okay.
He's an empirical red herring salesman.
It's proving density.
Don't do a red herring in the field.
It is proving density. You're right.
Because the butane gas is going to be heavier, and the butane gas not only just has the gas, it would have additives in there, so it has a smell because it's a flammable gas. You know that it's around. You smell it. You're like, oh, there's gas around here. I better not light up a cigarette. It's got all that stuff in it as well, so it's going to sit down the bottom of that pipe, and so it's going to cause.
Minor stole my point. I couldn't get in. The density of atmosphere at sea level is 1.2 kilogram per meter cubed. The density of butane is 2.48 kilogram per meter cubed. So yeah, it's 1.2 kilogram per meter cubed heavier than the air around it. So it will sit at the bottom.
There you go. So if it's more dense than the air around it, that's why he's able to do this with an open top. If it is open, if it's not, then he has to do it with a sealed top. But we can tell that he's got an open top because it won't.
He doesn't have to.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal that one from you there, mate. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was density, so I couldn't shut my mouth.
Entropy would still take effect, even with this tiny little opening. Given enough time, the gas will fill the space. So entropy would still take effect. It might slow it down. That's all he's doing. It's the same with the sulfur Sorry, I'll just add this. It's the same with the sulfur hexafluoride example. Yeah, they can float a boat on it. Yeah, come back an hour later and see if you can still do that.
So let's just go around the panel and ask each one. He says that we're wrong. Let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun. Does anybody agree with him that we're wrong and that he's done something good? Let's just go around the panel. Who should we start? Arwin, do you think that we've got this wrong and that he demonstrated a really good test, or do you think that he's got it wrong?
Well, he was doing really good science for like
Us.
experiment kit for when you're 8 or something. It was really cool, but he obviously didn't know what the hell he was doing because he didn't even get the point.
Well, his hypothesis, he didn't execute his hypothesis. Gravity
Exactly.
is the cause, ears popping is the effect. And then he's not done gravity or ears popping. Dependent variable gas. So really what he's put here is his dependent variable is gas pressure in the pipe. So really that's what he's doing. Gas pressure in the pipe, man-made thing. Independent variable, oh, see, he's even put it, density of gas in the open pipe.
So one of his independent variables is a legitimate cause, not gravity, but the density of the gas in the open pipe. Oh, nice one.
I'm gonna make a request to this guy. What's his name? Blue Marble Science. Could you do us a video where you demonstrate that you can successfully tie your own shoelaces? Because I don't think you can do it. I'd like to see your prowess in that regard, please.
What do you reckon,
In
Chris?
practice,
Hold on, Owen, you've had
his
your say.
experiment is
whole panel. Go on, Chris. What did you have to say on this?
I can't fathom what this guy's even trying to do. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Everything that everyone's saying is right. And if you have any common sense, if you have any sense at all, you'll know that this isn't gas pressure without a container.
Well, he's trying to claim that he's demonstrated gas pressure without a container. That's what his claim is. So
it's not correct. What's the walls around the butane then?
There's walls around the butane in the can. There's walls around the butane in the pipe. The pipe, it's not like the pipe is it's about 4 feet, and then he's got a white tube connected that goes up like 20 feet. What's up with that?
So again, just to reiterate, the name of the video is Gas Pressure Without a Container, but yet he's got in the video one container transferring the gas to another container. Wow. So you got two containers.
He's literally doing the same thing that guy with a fish tank did when he put two types of he might have even used butane actually. He might have put butane into the tank, and then he floated like a piece of tin foil on it, and it was suspended on top of the butane. He's literally, yes, it's exactly the same as that, but he's trying to make it look a little more scientific. That's all he's doing. And to be fair, that's contained, and that is contained.
Let's read Ralph Theta's comment. Nathan Oakley, did the pipe make his ears pop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sulfur hexafluoride. That was my point. And again, credit to Quantum Eraser. He said, well, you know, entropy's still going to take effect. So, oh, why are you playing video? Anthony, what are you doing?
Why is that a problem?
Yeah, I don't own the video. Anyway.
Well, I was just going to get it to that point there.
Okay.
All he's demonstrating is the same thing as this.
Yeah, fine. But entropy would still take effect. So while that might work, we still have the same situation, don't we, here? Or is that a blowtorch of some description? I would assume this is the canister of sulfur hexafluoride, which they have managed to import it into the... Why have they got it in this if it just manages to float around like this? They could bring it in a bloody wheelbarrow. No. Entropy still takes effect. Now you can slow it down. Yeah? But that's about all. This will not do this an hour after the demonstration is over. That's why when they bring in the sulfur hexafluoride in the other example, they have to put a piece of cardboard over the top of it to stop it dispersing into the atmosphere. Well, ultimately speaking, the same would apply here. Come back probably 10 minutes later, and this won't float. All of the sulfur hexafluoride will just have the effects of entropy take place, and it will fill the space. It'll just fill everywhere that it can. It'll spill out of the container given enough time. The same would apply with the pipe. Yeah, you might massively slow it down, but entropy doesn't stop happening. The second law of thermodynamics is a natural law for a reason. Anyway, stop ranting.
Yeah, and I think basically what this guy's done with his pipe is the exact same observation that you're seeing here. You can't do this sulfur hexafluoride test without having it inside a fish tank, in the same way that the guy couldn't do his butane gas thing without the pipes. So what we need him to do is to do the same thing again, but without the pipes.
Yeah, where's the walls on Earth?
Yeah, that's the bigger picture.
You know, where's the walls on Earth containing this?
I don't understand how ballers can not see this.
That's a fair point, Ranty.
They
Say
must
that again.
see this, but
Sorry,
they're just
Anthony.
deliberately telling people that they've somehow
slide
done
over
something
it.
good.
Sorry, don't slide over it. Say that again, Ranty.
Where's the walls on Earth?
That's a good question. So we've got sides to Earth, like your pipe, have we? Got sides to Earth, like we have on this container. This container on screen. No, we don't.
Maybe they're
Ranty, you're right. It's a good
half-handedly
point.
telling us that
Yeah,
there is a
you got it on
container.
screen. Keep where you are, Anthony. So where are the sides? Just an infinite circle for it to spill off, is it? No, just disperse into the vacuum. That's all that would happen. This gas pressure wants to expand rapidly in all directions. And is anything stopping it expanding? Oh, no. There's just a massive vacuum for it to expand into. And that's all it wants to do. Expand in all directions until it hits something, causing pressure. The pressing on the container is what causes pressure. That's what pressure is. So this not pressing on anything and being next to an infinitely expanding vacuum is simply a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. It's saying that entropy doesn't take place. The gas is not going to fill the space according to this picture. Not that it's a picture, total bollocks. But ultimately what this represents on screen is a violation of a law of nature. The gas would fill the space. And we're not talking about super heavy gases like sulfur hexafluoride. We're just talking about regular gases that do expand in all directions. That's what they do. And if there's nothing to stop them expanding in all directions, they just carry on expanding until they hit the walls of the container. No, what have we got here? Is this a wall? Is this a wall? Is this the side? Is this the side? No. Well, what have we got instead of a side? A massively lower pressure system. Well, entropy. The high pressure wants to go into the low pressure. It's just as simple as that. So this nonsense on screen is purely a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. The gas would fill the space.
Oh, hold on, Nathan. I need to correct. I need to be pedantic for a second.
Go ahead.
Because you said that hexafluoride doesn't expand in all directions, but that's only when opposing other gases that have a lower density. So in a vacuum chamber, like a compartment, or if you unleash hexafluoride gas, it will definitely expand within the entire container.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I should have added notwithstanding the laws of relative density.
Right.
But
Because only when there's other gas present does it always seek the lower point.
I don't know whether that's true.
I don't know
Yes,
whether
it
that's true
does.
either. I've been
Well, we don't
waiting
know
for
because
ages
do you
to
remember when
shout
I
out.
asked Rumpus about the balloon and I said if once that little balloon pops and the helium that's in the balloon fills the container, does it fill it up evenly across the whole container or does it pool at the bottom? And his reaction was, "I'll have to think about that. I think it would fill the available container."
Yes.
Of course
And I was
it
like,
would.
right, okay.
No, Arwin did disclose that. He said that if you were to place the sulfur hexafluoride in a vacuum, it would just expand in all directions and fill the container. But then you've got other gases that are exerting different pressures on it in the environment they've placed it in to force that effect, which is how they get the effect in the first place. They're utilising the effect of relative density. So Arwin's right, and he did disclose that. Would behave like any other gas. If there's nothing else to oppose it, there's no other greater density above it or below it, then it's just going to expand in all directions like every other gas.
Exactly.
Let's hear from Paul. I know he's been trying to speak. Paul, are you there?
Yeah, I was going to say I could have summed up everything everybody's saying. His experiment is a false equivalency fallacy. He's trying to equate a pipe to the Earth, and that's a false equivalence. That's all.
Yeah, that's why it needs to be done in a vacuum, right?
And also was trying to make the gas stick to a ball at the same time.
Yeah, it's a false equivalence. You're right, Paul. You're absolutely right, and that's been demonstrated nicely by Ranty's asking of, well, where's the sides to this container on screen now? Well, there isn't any sides to this container. It's not a container in any description whatsoever. What it is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. A gas next to a lower pressure system. So that gas wanting to fill the space is not happening, apparently. Well, I know, that violates a natural law.
Is there anybody else on the panel that wants to say anything?
I do want to shout out Leonardo Gonzalez because he's been sat on my desktop waiting to be shouted out. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Leonardo Gonzalez. I really do appreciate your support. Haven't forgotten you.
I'd just like to say something Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, please, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead. You were going to be next anyway.
I just want to say something about the whole gravity thing. I've said this before on this channel. Walter Lewin, former MIT physics professor, clearly states that electricity holds the Earth together for thousands of kilometers, and not until referring to the sun, the moon, planets, and stars does gravity take effect. He shows it mathematically. We are not big enough to feel the effect of gravity. You have to have two large masses in order to attract each other to them. We don't feel gravity at all. According to the globe model.
Yeah, fine.
He says it quite clearly. His 802 lecture series, lecture number 1, go in and start it at 40 minutes. And within 2 minutes, he'll say it. He shows it mathematically, in their own math, this is MIT.
This is a global we're talking about, obviously.
Yes.
Somebody
yes.
would have copied
In the
that.
globe model, this is how it actually works. Gravity is explaining the lights in the sky. And that's it. It has nothing to do with holding us to the Earth.
Right. I was just going to say that's a problem if somebody is trying to imply that that's what's keeping my feet on the ground.
Or keeping the gas from expanding in all directions until it hits the walls of a container to be gas pressure in the first instance. Yeah, that's a big problem, Chocolate.
So, is there anybody else on the panel that wants to say something?
I
Mine
think
warped. You were trying to say something
I've
before.
tried to.
Mine warped. Yeah, go ahead, Mine.
Go ahead, Mine Warp, yeah.
Yeah, so I just can't understand. Like, I'm in a side chat, and I can see some of the comments. They're saying, it's. I'll just read one of them out. That they can't understand how we think that it's not a container. So that basically, they're saying, yeah, they accepted that it's in a container, but
Why don't we... Is there anybody that can join the panel that can tell us how this is satisfying the description that's been given?
Well, that's not going to ever happen. Right?
I know, but I don't understand how there can be any negative comments in chat. So let's go... Anybody... You started off to read some...
They're saying, we fail to understand how... Put the picture of Earth on again, Anthony.
So did I just get muted and cut off?
No?
No, I think there was a dropout. I didn't...
Yeah, go ahead. If you had more to say, yes, you must have lost a connection or something, but nobody muted you.
That's okay. I was just saying, it just seems that a lot of the Globers that I can see on a side chat are saying that, okay, yeah, even though there's no cap, it's a non-pressurized container, and I keep saying to them, well, it's because it's proving density. The butane gas is heavier, so it doesn't matter what, like the atmosphere at the top of that pipe, the air, is a completely different density to the butane gas that's been forced into the bottom of that pipe. It's never going to rise out above that. It's always going to stay down the bottom, and it's going to come out, and it's going to go into that machine that he's, using to measure the pressure. It's constantly going to be there. It's.
No, I think it would. I think it would as the temperature of the butane in the pipe rises because it's being warmed by the environment it's in. It'll excite the molecules and it will leak out.
Yeah, it would eventually, but I mean, in the time that he's done that, it's
correct.
Yeah, it's just proving density. That's all it's proving.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what I said. The effect of entropy would still take place, and while he may slow it down, it's still going to have that natural law apply. That's never going to get... It's not a demonstration of the violation of the second law of thermodynamics. That's the bottom line here. He's not violating anything, and yes, you are explaining it correctly in terms of the different densities, but that still doesn't negate that the law of entropy will still apply. And given enough time, if there's an open pipe, yeah, just a gust of wind would blow some of those particles out, and over time it will eventually reach an equilibrium. That's all it's ever seeking to do. That is the law of thermodynamics in essence. I mean, it just begs belief, if you ask me.
Okay, can I read a Rumpus quote? Rumpus says, the atmosphere is not in a container, you utter morons. The force of gravity holds the atmosphere to the earth and causes gas pressure. Why is this difficult to understand, morons?
Because the cause of gas pressure is the necessary antecedent to press on something. So pressing is what causes gas pressure. The force exerted on the walls of the container. That's what gas pressure is. Force over the area. What area, you say? The area of gravity? Well, that's not an area. That's not how they measure gas pressure. That's just gibberish, my friend. So no, the force over an area, that would be what gives you the measurement of pressure. So without the container, the necessary antecedent, the thing that you're going to be pressing on, there is no pressure. It's not caused by gravity, you complete idiot.
He also says the force of gravity, but are there heliocentrists that say that gravity's not a force?
Like Brian Cox, you mean?
Right.
Oh yeah,
and,
Rumpus
George
doesn't...
Musa?
Clearly, Rumpus doesn't agree with Brian Cox, who's, considered far more educated than Rumpus, but let's not get past that.
I have a question. So this just hit me. Is this guy trying to say because there's no top, because it's not pressing on anything at the top, that it's purely the pressure in that's being read by that device is purely from the weight of the butane gas and not it pressing on something?
Right. It's pressing on the walls of the container as well.
Right.
Right, it's pressing on the walls, but then it's at the bottom, it's pressing, I guess you would have to, the argument would be it's pressing on the gas is pressing on the gas, and that's pushing down or that's going out the tube into the measurement device. But yeah, the point still stands. If you removed the metal pipe, it wouldn't work at all.
Right.
Or if you didn't put butane in there, if you just had the pipe and you had the tube attached to it and then you attach it to the measurement device, nothing would happen.
What's the needle measuring? Is it measuring the force applied on the walls of the container by any chance? And so what's the measurement on his needle? What's it measuring? Editing a comment.
Yeah. So it seems like the gas would be trying to escape from both the top and bottom. I mean, it's going to the top because of the second law, and it's going to the bottom because of the density or the weight of the gas. Okay, the gas can't go through itself at the bottom, so it is trying to go towards the ground, if you will, and it's going through the tube. But it's also going through the top, and once it hits the top, it's out.
Yeah,
because
that's been covered. So yeah, entropy's still going to take effect. That natural law's not being violated here, but that's for certain, Chris. But my point is, the needle is measuring the walls of the container and how much the gas is pressing on them. That's what the needle's measuring. The container in this instance, a great big long pipe, right? So that's all the needle is telling him. How much pressure is being exerted here on the needle and on all of the walls of the container. So without the container, what's he going to get a measurement from? So let's say we're saying, well, you're not demonstrating this without a container. You've got a great big long container there, my friend. So he says, no, that's not a container. It's got no lid on it. Oh, really? Well, what's the needle measuring then? Well, it's measuring the pressure. Well, what's pressure? The walls of the force exerted on the walls of the container. Well, you've just said it's not a container because it hasn't got a top. Well, let's put your needle at the top then and see what it measures. What do you think it's going to measure at the top? By the hole.
As far as I know, they were pretty much celebrating about this, thinking that this was some great, fantastic thing they have done here.
Isn't that nice to know?
Yeah.
That's nice to know
I
how
heard about
retarded
it
our
before I
competition
saw it
is.
this morning.
So what you're saying, it's nice to know how retarded our competition is. Yeah, they are retarded if they think this is a win. They don't know what the scientific method is if they haven't called him on his independent variables, and one of them being the actual cause. In this instance, it just beggars belief that they haven't recognised any of these flaws. They seem to find flaws in our assertions, none of which are valid,
What we need to do is we need to challenge the rumpus to tell this guy that he's got it wrong, and basically call him out, because rumpus is supposed to represent science. This gentleman, as good as his intentions are, has completely messed up this observation or test or whatever, and in doing so, he's basically brought into disrepute all of the ballers. So people like the rumpus really need to go over and call this guy out for fucking it up.
I'd like him to do the same test without a container.
Yeah. What, Nathan, what debate number are we on?
Ooh, I have no idea.
Look, seeing as the Earth has no walls, I would like them to do it the same. So, with no walls, away you go. Fair enough, isn't it?
818. 818.
Wouldn't you think that's fair? Wouldn't you think it's fair enough for them to ask them to do it without any walls, seeing as the Earth has no walls?
Yeah, do it without a container.
That's
what was
what I
the
just
number,
said.
Nathan?
No, just no walls.
Without a container, Auntie. Yes, that would be nice to see it without a container. Like the housekeeping question. Is there any evidence of gas pressure being maintained without a container?
I say, what's a bowl, Nathan?
Container.
Riley is
What's a bowl?
818, Riley.
Container.
Yeah, got it.
Is a bowl a container, Nathan? For your
Yes.
soup?
Yes.
Yeah. Bowl's a container. Doesn't have to be fully enclosed. You can
Well-
have containers that aren't fully enclosed, they're still containers.
But when they do use open-topped containers, they're using these gases that we're not breathing. So when we give the example, expand on it, we go, we've got gas pressure here on Earth. We're talking about Earth. We're not talking about, I mean, I don't know if he's talking about something that he believes exists, like planet butane, but I'm not breathing butane. I'm breathing gas. That's how we qualify the example. We're talking about the natural world. So he might be breathing butane. In fact, I strongly suspect he is. But I'm not breathing butane naturally. And that's what the question is in regards to. We have gas pressure. We are breathing it. Yeah? And that gas expands in all directions. So, how is that possible without the necessary antecedent of something to press upon? That's the question.
What
No,
we
it's
also
not
need to
gas
do,
pressure, it's atmospheric pressure. Mm.
what we also need to
Still gas
do is
pressure.
basically what we need people to do is when they see videos that make claims like this, let us know about them, because obviously there's thousands of videos that go up on both sides of the discussion every day. Maybe not every day, but thousands over a week, and we missed them. We missed them all. So I only got this video because someone told me about it. Thank you and shouts out to the guy. I'm not going to say who it was because I don't know if he wants me to say him. But it was actually, I'm sure it was Hyena. So shout outs to Hyena for raising the alarm for me, because this is just, A, gives us content, B, allows us to laugh at these morons, and C, just for everybody, if you guys spot claims in housekeeping that these ballers are making, let's hear about them, because they can't prove these things. But if we don't know that these claims exist, then we're not going to be able to respond. So we challenge all of the baller videos that make claims about gas pressure or gravity or curvature or whatever. Let us know about them so that we can deal with them, because none of them can prove it, and we'll pull every single one of them apart.
That's absolutely right. Let Anthony know all about these, because Anthony definitely wants to know about them. And with that, I'll say, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, then stay tuned, as you'll be in for an after show. However, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. If you'd like to keep yourself occupied after this live stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Yeah.
Hey, Tenth Man.
Rumpus said that Rumpus said that gravity can't be created in a lab. He just said that in the side chat. That's funny.
He also said we don't have a handy black hole to just help us manipulate that.
Then technically it can't be proven scientifically, right?
Correct. That's why we say that they can't prove their assertions.
Yeah, it's why we ask for
Riley-
scientific evidence.
Do you ever play Jim Panda's little quote with you? His little back and forth with you?
Oh no, I should play more of that. Yeah. That
Definitely.
quote, that quote that Jeremy said. Anthony would agree with me that we cannot denote the shape of the Earth within scientific method. That kills the ball for all ballers from now on.
Yep.
Jeremy Panda is not very important. Hey, 10th man, can we get a quick sound check from you?
He's left a comment. He says he's on his PC, but he can't control his volume. Can you check the mic?
Say hello, 10th man.
I mean, it's him.
Really him?
I'll tell him to say something. Hang on.
You're muted.
Yeah, that was quite nice. No Slick James today.
Yeah, well, he left at the beginning just while I was doing the intro. He dropped. Did someone kick him out?
Huh. I don't see him in the back chat.
Don't see
He
him in the
would be-
back chat. Does that imply he's been removed? So he's been removed by somebody. Right, fess up now.
Someone
Who
kicked him.
kicked him? Who kicked Slick?
I didn't kick Slick.
I don't know who did, but I'm glad someone did because we got through some
Goodness
good
sake.
evidence today.
To be honest, it's a valid point because if Slick was in, we would not have had a really good conversation about how you can't have gas pressure without a container. We would have had an argument about beliefs.
I want him to know how it feels. Well, I want him to tell us about his experience of not being on the show today.
He should start his own.
No.
That means it was ranty. That's Ranty's admission right there.
He likes to talk about
don't
his
kick
experiences so
people.
much. So why doesn't he just do his own live stream, the Slick James experience?
Yeah, like you did, you mean?
Nathan, you need to ask Ranty, did he remove Slick?
Did you remove Slick, Ranty?
Yeah.
It's not funny. Right,
Uh-oh.
yeah, Slick's gonna hate me. If he was here, he would probably be telling me off, but I don't care. He's not here because Ranty's kicked him. Right, when this was going on with Arwin, I had to do the same thing and tell you guys not to kick Arwin. Yeah. Well, Arwin is now a very much beloved member of the team. Would you not agree?
It's too strong. He's tolerated.
I'm not talking about Slick.
I
I'm
love
not talking
Arwin.
about Slick.
Arwin's
I'm
my
talking
boy.
about
I like
Arwin.
Arwin.
It's okay. It's mixed. I know.
Right.
I like Arwin. We tolerate Arwin, but we like him.
Right. Well,
Good.
this isn't a like or dislike thing, though, is it?
Yeah, but I wanted to tell him about his experience of having to sit out a show for once because he's literally been on for the past 3 months. So I want him to come on Monday and say how it felt to him.
Why? Why are you so concerned with? This is the thing that Slick. Right. This is the thing that I cannot fathom. He keeps saying to you, "Why do you care what I think? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's unimportant." And then we'll have 10th man quoting him, going, "You're saying what you say is unimportant, but you're all really fixated on it."
But he takes up a spot and offers nothing when you could have another person join who, like today, like Zach joined. It's likely. It's likely that Zach might have panel might have been
Hold on, I
full.
want to hear Ranty's opinion because he's just kicked him, so he's felt so strongly as to express his shotgun in Slick's face, and I want to know why.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Zach joined, but he was the 10th person to join. So at that time, if we didn't have Zach to join, we would have had Slick there saying about beliefs and experiences and trying to obfuscate the presentation that Sleeping Warrior was doing.
No, you don't know that.
Instead of we got Zach who joined, who gave validity to the point being made, and we actually made a presentation without us ripping each other apart.
You
Right,
don't know
listen,
that.
let
You
me-
don't know
let
he
me-
would have
let me-
rumpus. You don't know he would have done any of that. That's just hyperbole.
Nathan, listen.
Nah, not really, Nathan.
Wait. Let me respond to what Ranty's just said. I strongly disagree with kicking Slick, right? He may be A, B, or C. It doesn't matter. If he disagrees with people, I'm all right with that. It doesn't matter what his personality is. If he generally, as long as he's not being rude and aggressive and a general dick, I disagree with kicking Slick, right? You shouldn't have done it. However, I do accept that if Slick was here, we would not have had the show that we would have just had. We would have had a completely different show, and it would have been more of the same from the last week or two. So I'm just putting context there.
I'll say, to be fair, it could have gone either way, because depending on how he's feeling, he might have just sat quietly the entire time and not said anything, maybe until the end or something, right? But yes, there is that possibility he might have just interjected with some other shit, and you know how that goes. So it could go either way, because sometimes he does just sit in here very quietly and doesn't say anything.
Yeah, but it's a
So
sad.
just to be fair.
Right, but
it's a
with
sad position
Andy's
to
way,
be
you
in.
guarantee that's going to happen. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's a sad position to be in, to hope that he stays silent, knowing that if he says anything, it's going to be, you know, against.
Yeah, but I
him.
hope that from Arwin every time.
Yeah, it's a false hope. Especially if you bring it up, you know.
False hope.
If you take too long taking a breath mid-sentence, you know Arwin's like, he's in.
I just had coffee, so.
Well, so I think something too with Slick, on my opinion, is he challenges worldviews but doesn't allow his worldview to be challenged.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest pushback I see. I mean, I don't mind to be my worldview to be challenged. I think that's part of what a debate is all about. A debate is challenging your perceptions, challenging your understanding. You know, is it valid? Can it withstand evidence? Can it withstand scrutiny? And I see Slick doing all the challenging, but when we challenge him, if you notice, he backs away, he walks away. You know,
Yeah.
so that's my opinion.
Yep.
Anyway,
He's not even here in the
let's
he's
not
even
keep
here in
going
the
into the
focus of
whole
conversation
Slick
is
thing,
Slick.
man.
He's not even here, and we're still focused on him. You guys are obsessed.
I was just saying, like, can we go back to something else
I'm
besides
not
this
focused
guy?
on Slick. I'm focused on that ranty kicked Slick.
What funny?
Ranty, you shouldn't
Not
have
funny.
kicked him.
It's not funny, right? This has happened between
No,
you
he
and...
shouldn't have, but it is.
Hold on. You and Ranty have had this between you two, haven't you? Do you remember?
Yes.
Right.
And in
How did it...
retrospect,
Well,
that
let's
was
talk...
kind of funny as well.
You guys have made this about feelings. How did that make that you feel? Did it make you feel wonderful about yourself, Arwin?
It was exciting.
Yeah, I want to know how he feels about it, though.
He's not here. I'm talking about you two.
Well,
You're both
when he
here.
comes on
You're
Monday-
both here. You both sniped each other for some unknown reason that you've now forgotten about, and bygones be bygones.
I haven't forgotten.
Well, listen, on Monday, when he joins the show, he'll be able to tell us about his experience, because he's very vague about his experiences. So I want to hear what his experience was.
Don't Ranty. No, you shouldn't have kicked him, Ranty.
So you kicked him because you want to know about him. Man, isn't this just the love-hate relationship that you don't want to be in, Ranty?
Gonna talk about snakes again, and this time gonna portray Ranty with an elaborate story of how he's a snake, just like he did with me. So it's very predictable, really.
See what it leads to, Ranty? Now people will accuse you of being obsessed with him, etc.
I'm quite happy for that, because I'll be honest. I see him offering no value at all to the debates.
I disagree.
Nathan.
And I don't care if we have to go to war with him. Or I
Nathan,
have to go
listen.
to war. I don't
Nathan, would you agree with me, Nathan? If I...
Right, Ranty.
Gents, hang on a sec. Nathan, would you agree with me if I challenged Ranty to admit to Slick that he kicked him and apologise? Would you agree with me that that would be a suitable punishment for Ranty?
No, I know he's not sorry. From last time.
Me first.
I know full well, Rant. Let's not declare it. Are you in any way sorry?
No.
Ranty?
No.
I was waiting for him to say no.
Not at all.
So what
And
would
if
be the
anyone
point?
wants to kick me, listen.
I know Ranty don't give a flying.
That's his
fuck.
justification if he wants to kick you. So you want a war with him. So you're the one focused on him. I'm sure he probably does. If he joins and doesn't give
Because
two
you know
shits.
something, whether you like it or not, Nathan, I'm looking out for your channel. And I'm sorry, but I helped build this channel up, and I see him fucking bringing it down. And everybody hates him in the chat. And I'll be honest.
That's
taking the role of
what people used to say exactly that about Arwin, pretty much verbatim.
No, but
Right.
not this, no, he did not.
No, I didn't actually.
No,
He
not,
just
not
said I was
ranty.
disruptive and
I didn't
can
say
be
ranty.
annoying.
People. I said people.
Not
Maybe I
that
put it
I'm
off because of my
worthless.
gate, but
That's
I
not
said
what Ranty
people.
said.
People, not ranty.
We have a legacy. You got your original guys that were on the panelists. You got Arwin. You've got You got everybody, literally, that's on the panel right now is essentially the guys that have helped make the debates what they've made them.
I agree.
And Slick isn't offering anything at all. In fact, the only thing he's doing is making people turn off the show. You see people saying it in chat, and then you see him on other streams talking about him, saying that they don't come in when he's in. They hate him. And I'm just looking out for the channel. I mean, I'm just saying it as it is, Nathan. He offers nothing, he provides nothing. He's
Ranty, the other side to it is you are taking the role of moderator without the permission to do so.
Well, sometimes it just needs saying.
I can't control that, though. That's always the stance. I hate to disagree with you on this. I'm sure you're on my side here, Anthony. Well, I can't control that, can I? That's
I mean,
why
I've
we're having
been
the
sniped.
conversation.
I've been sniped 100 times.
But I can't stop him.
If you control it, then we must. That
Well,
is how it feels.
Yeah, I've been sniped 100 times, and it still doesn't bother me. If somebody wants to snipe me right now, it's fine. It's not a problem. It's water off the duck back to me.
Don't say that because I do want to talk to you. So,
But it literally is. It's like if it's going to be that.
Owen, get him.
If it's going to be that personal for him, so what?
Please don't let this descend into chaos. Please, God. Baby Jesus, please don't let them start sniping each other.
In actual fact, if you look back at the hangout today, Nathan, and you look in the chat at the start of the show when he did the introductions and he didn't say Slick John James, everybody in the chat was saying, "What? No Slick today? Oh, thank God for that. Watch it back."
Okay, this is an open platform for anybody to express their views on the shape of the Earth. Slick has one. So no matter how much you appeal
He
to me,
rarely does it, though.
if it meant the end of the show, I would fight for that to be the case. If people desert me as a result of me having an open platform, then good. Then they should be deserting me because they want an echo chamber. Sorry, if you don't like him, that's too bad. My opinion on him is irrelevant, but it's an open platform. If he wants to join, he can. Now, I don't condone you sniping him, and obviously if you strongly feel about it, you're going to eventually crack and do things like that. That's how it ended up with Arwen. Maybe this will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Maybe this will descend into chaos and gangster gunfire, for all I know. Probably not, but it means it's come to a head. Well, maybe that's a useful reason for me not to have control of the sniping, because it means things like this, you do have a way of expressing your control over the show, which is what you're doing, Ranty. Well, you've got control, you can do that, and I can't stop you, but it means that it brings things to a head, and this is what this is right now, same as it was with Arwen. But will you ever convince me to say, sorry, you're not allowed? There are exceptions to every rule. Obviously, I have got a couple of people, literally maybe 3.
Yeah,
exactly.
I haven't asked you permission.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just need leading in the right direction, and this is a good direction for you to go in.
All right. Well, in that case, then, Ranty, don't snipe him again. I'd rather him be in and let people see what he's like than kick him out and not give him the chance to hang himself.
I agree.
So
if you persist on sniping him, then do it when he really deserves it.
Friendly fire. Hashtag same team.
Friendly fire. The guy came in and he was saying yesterday.
Yeah, but according to him, he's not on anybody's team. He's on his own.
I'm saying it. He's not saying
he has
that.
regard for himself, no one else. These are his words.
Well, I'm saying it. He's not. Right? So it doesn't matter what Slick says. I'm saying hashtag same team in the respect that I can say his arguments I can relate to and are useful. Now, he is a flat earther. You don't have to like it. Hashtag same team. He is on the same side as you. Now, what would you prefer? The devil you know, somebody you don't agree with in their terms of their expression of their beliefs?
Yes.
Or would you rather... You'd rather have a really irritating globalike...
Yes.
So, Nathan, you don't have any problem with his obvious in-your-face hypocrisy at all?
Of course. Absolutely. In the same way I would with anybody else
why
on the
don't
show.
you berate him for it?
I do.
Why are you being so soft? And if
you think
Roberts or Brenda just
Clearly you
does
don't
that,
listen.
yeah,
I do.
you totally
I have.
crack him on him.
I've
you know?
called Slick on numerous occasions and got involved in the discussion. Just because I don't call him on every single one that's being argued about doesn't automatically mean I agree with him. And I have called him when appropriate and when I'm involved in discussions with him. So that's a bit unfair to say.
We know
that I
why
don't.
you like him, Nathan. It's because you get great after shows with him. Because people argue with him, and you get like a 4-hour live stream afterwards.
Well, that I'm not going to disagree with either. There's plenty of people who assert their dislike of him, and I say to them, it seems to me like you love to hate this guy. oh, I don't love to hate him,
No.
that's extreme. And you're like, oh, okay, your behaviour demonstrates it.
No,
Talking about
I don't
him now.
like it. I have to, because I feel he's a serious threat for the energy balance of this group and this what we're doing.
Right.
He's participating, but he's not constructing. He's constantly deconstructing everything.
So you are compelled.
Methodically. That's what he does. And he's not adding things. He's not helping progression. He's just degrading everything to unreasonable low levels. Things we have all personally moved beyond because we're not obsessed by beliefs.
Well
I
said.
can easily put positive spin on that. So you can say that he serves as a warning for the dark road of solipsism. Yeah, great. I can easily positively spin that. But you are compelled by this man. I'm not.
Well said.
I have something to accomplish.
Same here. I think we all have. We all have a vested interest in discussions of the shape of the Earth, whereas Slick doesn't. He's all for himself. He doesn't care about the debate. Literally, he could jump into another channel, another topic, and just sit in that and just talk there because he offers nothing.
Can we change topic now? Can we start the next show and not mention Slick?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, Ranty.
In fact, actually,
Wait, before we do, Ranty, show the picture.
Actually, what I think we should do, to be fair to Slick, is open up a new hangout so that he is able to join.
Oh.
I don't mind doing that if you want me to do that. Oops.
I think that's fair. Because I disagree with Ranty kicking him.
Never do that for me.
That's
Don't,
true.
So.
Check Arwin. You don't do it for me, so you can't do it for Slick.
Actually, that's a valid point. Well, no, that's not
but,
true.
But Arwen, are you now comparing yourself to Slick?
Yeah, it
Don't
seems
do
so.
that.
No, I'm asking for equal treatment on the panel.
But are you equal?
No.
Do you see him as an equal? So then you shouldn't get equal treatment, right? There you go.
So you don't see Slick as being equal on the panel? Why not?
I don't need special treatment, and neither does he.
Right, so you're equal.
Right. So, if you don't invite me, if you don't make a new panel just for me, then you don't for him. You know, if he really wants to talk, then you get him over on.
Oh, we're still on that. I thought we were talking about him getting shot in the face by Ranty, but clearly not.
Ranty's picture is awesome. Who made that pic?
Oh, now you've talked about it, I've got to put it on screen, haven't I?
Yep.
There you go.
I made this pic.
That's a snake, isn't it, on the bottom of his sword?
It is, yeah.
You notice that he hasn't actually killed it. It's just sat on the end. It's just basically taunting Arwin because it's not dead. It's sat on the end of the sword, basically laughing at him. I would say this is to your detriment, Arwin.
He say, I don't experience your sword.
At first, yeah, exactly. I don't even experience yours. I'm just going to sit on it and laugh at you. At first glance, this seems like the powerful.
Come on.
It seems like
At first glance, what, Dave?
I was going to say, at first glance, it looks like, wow, the almighty powerful Arwin. But then, when you actually study it, I would say that this is to Arwin's detriment because it's basically Slick laughing in his face. He's sat on the top of the sword, going, "Yeah, right, whatever. I'll just jump on top of it."
Anyway, maybe they're like a team, and Slick is the persona of Arwen's sword. They're like a
Very
team.
interesting how Nathan always sees me in some kind of light, and he finds it very amusing when I'm some kind of underdog every time. It's.
And with that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering audience for tuning in, smashing the super chat, hopefully, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. If you need to keep yourself occupied after this stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Also, of course, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!